Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's actually add some routes to this system. Since we finally got through all the somewhat boring stuff, let's add some actual routes. So the very first thing I think we need to do is add a routes folder for all of our routes. So let's go ahead and do that. You know what, let's do it in a router actually. It makes more sense to me. So routes, okay. And we're going to have a routes.go, like so. Of course, package routes, function get routes, and that's going to return, well, we'll handle that later, get routes. Okay, and then we need to have our main middleware, so function middleware, and this is actually going to do something a little bit different. Let's see here, we're going to next http.handler. Okay, and then we're going to say http.handler. It's going to return an http.handler function. Handler function. We're going to have an anonymous function here. That's a http.response writer. And then the http.request. Request. There we go. And for now, it's just going to return next. Next.serve HTTP. There we go. Though, what we are going to do is, hold on, what's this complaining about? Oh, not return. There we go. And it needs to pass in our objects here. So, middleware. This is the main middleware for the application. Okay, so why we created this function, this middleware function here, is this is where every request that comes through our system is going to come through this middleware. So you want to make sure that if you have any kind of thing you want to add at all that every request needs, this is where you want to do it. Okay. So let's go ahead and add that to the router itself. So we're going to say router here. Let's go ahead and grab routes, github.com, just a second. Okay, github.com/learning, and then what's it called, just project, right? Because we'll find out real quick. API, router, and routes. Okay, it's getting rid of it because we're not using it. And we're going to say we want to attach this to our main router. So we'll say router.use middleware, routes.middleware. Did it get rid of it? Oh, okay, very annoying. There we go. .middleware. There we go. Okay, let's do a quick test. Might as well. Doesn't hurt. We'll say log.println inside middleware. Okay. Then we'll run up to here. We'll say go run main curl localhost 8000 get. Okay. Page not found. So we'll say static.text. It should. Yep, inside middleware. So even through the static routes, it still went through the middleware first. So we know this is working. Let's remove that. We'll get rid of it. Okay. Now we need to actually attach some basic routes. So we want to have we want to version control our routes. So what I mean by that is you want to be able to have routes that have a version. So like let's say for example you want to have some routes that use authentication and some routes that don't use authentication. Also, let's say that you have routes that you want to change over time. Well, let's say you have a customer or somebody you're working for who decides to use that on an application that they're not willing to change. Well, you don't want to change the route on them if you change the functionality of that route. So let's say, for example, you used to return a JSON, now you're returning an object or something like that. Well, that could break other applications that are relying on your API. So you want to version control your API so that way it doesn't break anyone who's currently using the system. If someone wants new functionality, they can use the new routes, version 1, version 2, version 3. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's create a basic. Actually, just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and create some basic types here for this routes that we can use. So we'll say types.go. Package is, of course, routes. And we're going to create a type routes of route. Route. And then we're going to have type route. That is a struct that has a name, which is a string, and then a method, which is also a string, and then a pattern, which is also a string, and then the actual handler itself. So we'll say handler function. We'll call http.handler function, like so. And then we want to have a subroute that can take an array, a slice of routes with some middleware. So let's go ahead and create that as well. So we'll say type sub route package. It'll be a type of struct, okay, with routes that are type routes, okay, but they're also going to have a middleware function, which is a function of next with http dot handler. It's going to return an http dot handler, like so. Let's go ahead and name these things so that our editor can stop complaining. But you know what? That's so silly. We're just going to route. I'm not going to actually spend the time explaining these. Sub route package. Sub route package. Okay, editor stops complaining. That's good. Let's go to our routes over here. Okay. And we're going to create our very first route. So let's go ahead and do, we're going to have, well, we don't actually need to pass anything into this right now. We'll probably pass a database into this later on, but right now we don't need to. And also an event hub for the sockets as well when we get to sockets. So we're going to do routes. It's going to return routes. We're going to return routes with a route of name. We'll do health check, and then we'll do method of, it's going to be type of get, pattern. For now we're just going to do health. It's fine. Health, and then the handler function is actually going to be, we'll just call it health for now. Health. Okay. It's going to freak out about not having health. So let's go ahead and add that. Health.go package.routes function health. Let's actually go here and make that a function. I'll explain that in a second. What it's going to do is we're actually going to return this handler here. So health, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did over here. Just a second here. Oh, sorry about that. Health. We don't actually need to pass anything in at the moment, but we do need to. We're returning HTTP handler function, and then we're going to return function WHTTP dot response writer with a pointer to HTTP dot request. Okay, and then we're going to just for now. Let's just write healthy. So we're going to do a slice of byte. It's going to say server is healthy. There we go. And health route. Okay. This is going to probably complain because, did I not spell that right? Types handler funct. Isn't that what I did there? Oh, there we go. Okay. We're going to lower the... Okay. Alright. So go run main. Okay. Now we're going to say health. Oh, page not found. Why is it not found? Oh, helped actually attach these get routes. I didn't do that. Okay, and then go to our router itself here. I need to do get routes. So we'll say routes are equal to routes.get routes, like so. And then we'll say range. Let's go ahead and loop over these guys here. We'll say we don't need the index value. We do want the route though. Oop, not range. 4. Range routes. Okay, and then we'll say router.router dot methods route dot method, and then we're going to do, oh, this is not going to work. It's going to flip out. Path route dot path, and then you do the name that we set earlier to route dot name, and then the handler to route dot handler function. There we go. Did I not do that right? Path undefined. Let's see here. Close others. Go to our routes here. Oh. Pattern. There we go. Okay, so now we've actually attached it to our router. It should work. Cross our fingers. And server's healthy, yay! But if you go to the other routes, nothing. Okay, so we've attached a route to a router. So the nice part about this is you need any more routes, you can just come in here and add it. Now, you'll also notice too that we earlier went and we added this sub-router package. And what that allows you to do is that allows you to do what you're doing here, or what you're doing here with the get routes, but then pass in like a, let's say /v1 or something, so that you don't have to actually attach the pattern with the subroute. So what I mean is, like, you can take this route here and attach it to, let's say /v1 /API, and then you don't have to add that to this pattern here. The subroute just knows that if a route comes across from this value here, then you're going to run this function on this route here. And I'll show that in a later video, but just so you know what we're doing there. And also I want to go and explain a couple more things as well. So you might wonder, how come we're not just passing the function directly in, and how come we're calling this function? Well, the reason behind that is if you pass the function in directly, there's no way to attach a database to this function here. So let's say, for example, you need to make a database call. You need to say, get users, and then from some db.get or something like that, right? And then you do some get of some sort. Well, if you just have a handler function, there's no way to pass inside of that handler function the database access without making, for example, the database global or something like that. And you don't want to do that. So that's a nice, easy way to just pass up through the server, through your get routes. You put your DB here, and then pass it into the function here, and now when the route runs, the database will be available. And you do that as a pointer. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I hope this video makes sense, and I hope I went at the right speed. If you have any questions, please post down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.